Netcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is TWiT.
Bandwidth for All About Android is provided by Cachefly at CACHEFLY.com.
This episode of All About Android is brought to you by the new Squarespace. Squarespace introduces a new content management system, making it faster and easier to create a high-quality website or blog. Plus, more than 50 new features, including mobile responsive designs with automatic device scaling. For a free trial and 10% off your first purchase, go to squarespace.com and use offer code AboutAndroid8. And by Ford. Ford invites us tech geeks to join the conversation, submit ideas, and grab a Tech Geek badge at social.ford.com.
Welcome to All About Android, episode 73, recorded on Tuesday, August 21st, 2012. Is your weekly source for all the latest news, hardware, and apps for the Android faithful. I'm Eileen Rivera.
And I'm Jason Howell.
And we don't have Ron.
Nah, it's a bummer. Ron couldn't make it. It was kind of a last-minute-ish thing.
I know.
And, I looked around for a few guests and, kind of came up empty-handed. And then we were like, you know what?
We can
don't
do
need
this.
no stinking guests. We can
do this.
We also have a third voice in the show. Chad Johnson, also known as OMG Chad, is the technical director of our show, and you happen to have an Android device, so why the heck not?
Yeah, and I also happen to have a mic, so that's a good thing.
That comes in very handy,
right? So.
It's nice that we won't have to relay everything that you say.
I was just gonna make really telling looks at you,
yes. And we'll have to interpretive dance is what you're talking about, right?
Exactly.
We also happen to have the opportunity to have Father Robert Balacer in the background of your shot. And I think that'll come in really, really handy.
Yeah. He's kind of like my agent, if there's ever anything that I can't impart onto you, so I'll be like, yeah, I might know something.
Or if you ever have the need to do something bad or you're thinking bad, he's over your shoulder going, no.
Right. I don't have a devil.
That.
I just have a Father Robert.
There you
That's
go.
all I got.
There's a lot of people in the building that have Android devices. Tony Wang is looking at us in the audience right now. You can't see him. He's waving. And if you're on audio, you definitely can't see him. But he has
waving.
an Android
I'll
device.
confirm that.
So we're okay.
He's holding up a iPad? Well, never mind about that Tony Wang guy. Why don't we instead...
Let's talk about lots of things. We're going to talk about Samsung versus Apple, of course. Some rumors. I think we're going to talk about the Note 2. And Pinterest.
My favorite app in the world.
Pinterest. Woo. And then there's just a lot more. So I had to throw that Pinterest thing in there. Because naturally, I get to talk about it later.
There are definite people that are excited about the Pinterest app. I have not installed it yet, but I'm curious to hear what you think about it.
I will talk about it later, but before that, we should drop into our news.
Yeah. All right. Let me warm up the lungs.
I know.
A few things to read here. You just go ahead and tune out. It's cool. I got this.
What I wanted to do is get in here early, read up on everything that's been going on, because I see tweets from people who are really following the trial of Samsung versus Apple, and I think they're making their closing arguments, right?
Yes, that's absolutely. So after 1 week, the last week actually, of Samsung's kind of their turn to prove their side of the case to Judge Lucy Koh, we have a few interesting nuggets to walk away with. So tell me if you've heard these before.
Okay.
So there was this time that Judge Koh asked Apple's attorney if they were smoking crack when presented with a 75-page briefing detailing 22 potential rebuttal witnesses. Oh, remember those times?
Oh, I remember
that. Was crazy.
I did see a lot of Twitter tweets with smoking crack. I didn't have a chance to click onto the link, but those two words were scrolling down quite multiple times.
Yeah, it's become a thing. I'm really happy to actually hear Judge Koh say that, because I've said that I feel like I've said that for years. Like, what are you, smoking crack? And I'm not the only one to do that. But I feel somewhat justified now that Lucy Koh sits on my side of the fence as far as smoking crack is concerned. I don't know what that means. Okay. There was that one time that Judge Koh stated that she had fears that the jury might actually be confused in coming to an informed decision.
You remember that one time when you thought the jury might be confused?
Oh, man. And if there ever was a case where the jury would be confused, it would be this one. There was that one time You remember this one where Samsung rested its case and they're seeking $421.8 million from Apple. And that's compared to Apple's $2.88 billion. So a little bit less, but man, that was something else when that happened.
Man, this is already my favorite recap of this whole thing.
Oh, but it gets even better. You remember that one time at Bandcamp when Samsung and Apple, after this entire case, they entered into last-minute talks to see if they could reach a settlement before it goes to a jury?
I remember that one time, and I was hoping that one time would actually happen.
Yeah, no, it didn't.
Oh, okay.
It failed.
That sucks.
Which, you know, you kind of expected that they were probably going to have a little bit of these talks beforehand. Well, they did, and they failed in that attempt. So...
Can you imagine what those closed-door conversations were about?
Particularly that one, like after this whole thing, and they're already so, you know, stern, and obviously they put their foot in the sand to each other and stated their side, and now they're sitting there like, all right, is there really anything that we can do? I doubt either side thought that there was, but so closing arguments were today, as you said. From what I've read and some of the stuff that I'm sure you've seen, Apple kind of took a wide-angle approach, and they're actually doing some of their closing arguments right now. But they've been using slides with, you know, easy to kind of decipher pictures that illustrate their stance, not getting too deep into the muckety-muck to finalize its side. Now, Samsung, on the other hand, has had kind of a text-happy slide approach. So, you know, you kind of get the impression that maybe the jury could easily follow what Apple was saying with these, you know, pictures that illustrate things versus Samsung kind of putting up all this kind of text and forcing them to read and become even more tired than they probably are. Possibly some time management issues as well on Samsung's side. You know, they've had to skip some slides, I guess. Brief claims that were more, you know, could have been kind of helped with a little bit more insight. Now, Nilay Patel from The Verge has actually been tweeting about this, as well as The Verge coverage of this case in general has been pretty great. But he was putting this out on Twitter today. He said, Apple's closing arguments are very easy to illustrate with exhibit slides, but Samsung's are much harder, almost the story of the entire case. Apple stayed way up high at just look at these, while Samsung is trying to pull things way down into specific differences. Who knows if that's going to be a good thing or a bad thing for Samsung at this point. But I don't know. I'm kind of getting the bad feeling for Samsung in all of this.
I am too, and it sounds like I saw someone else tweet out, and I can't remember who it was. Maybe it was Nilay, but that Apple was using Steve Jobs' legacy in the closing arguments somehow. You know, foster a little warm-hearted feelings. This is what he wanted, or what was it about? You know, that kind of thing. That was a great recap.
Well, thank you.
I don't know where...
I had to try and make it interesting, at least for myself.
Well, we've been talking about it for so long. And there's
it feels that way.
Yeah, and I feel like all that legalese is really tough to decipher unless you're someone like Eli.
It is. Every time I kind of sit down to prepare for the show, I'm like, oh man, 20 links open, trying to read through and pick out, because it's not like we can spend an hour talking about this stuff. So I really do kind of have to hit just a few broad points. But that doesn't underscore the importance of this, the potential impact that this has across kind of the landscape of mobile right now. It's a very important case. Now, meanwhile, Motorola is bringing a suit against Apple, but now, you know, you say Motorola versus Apple, kind of a patent case, and kind of sounds like, you know, just yet another instance of these patent wars, and it is, I guess. But the difference here is now Motorola is not just Motorola, right? It's Google, and this is kind of the first time that you're seeing Google, by extension, actively going from a kind of defensive stance to an offensive stance. Some actual, you know, fans and writers about Android, you know, for Android, are actually a little kind of upset that this is happening, because they appreciated the fact that Google was kind of taking, in their eyes, the high road and not necessarily going out of their way to say, you know, to wage these battles. And now they are. I don't know.
I kind of felt like that was probably coming. But you're right. I mean, I could see why people are really disappointed in the. I mean, whenever you get into any kind of lawsuit, it's disappointing. It's, you know. Yeah. It's is it really necessary?
It's just kind of the rules that they were given. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's business as usual, unfortunately, as much as it kind of sucks. So sucks just for our brains to comprehend why and the what and the ramifications. So hopefully, very soon we'll know the outcome of at least the Samsung Apple case. And I would love to try and bring on somebody from The Verge as well. I've been in talks back and forth with Matt McCarry, so I'm sure we can get him on at some point. He's just been incredibly busy with this case.
I'm sure he has. This case is taking up probably all of his days, hours, weekends, time.
Yeah. So even in retrospect, it'll be cool to kind of get his insight on that. So there we go.
All right. Well, I know what I'm getting you for Christmas.
Oh, really? I'm getting something for Christmas.
I know what I'm giving Chad for Christmas. Woo! I know what I'm getting Ron for Christmas.
Wow.
I'm just giving it away.
Okay.
Google Play gift cards have officially been announced, and they're rolling out at Target, Radio Shack, and GameStop. But you have to keep in mind that they cannot be redeemed. This is the sucky part for Android app subscriptions, magazine subscriptions, which I like using my gift card when I bought my Nexus 7. To get magazine subscriptions and things like that, or hardware and accessory purchases.
Yeah, because if you use it for like a subscription, that's like a gift that keeps on giving.
Yeah.
Why would they limit it to that?
I don't know.
That's an interesting limitation.
But like iTunes gift cards, now there are Google Play gift cards, and I think that's nice.
Yeah, it was interesting to watch this kind of play out over the course of the last 5 days because it really has been like, rumors have hit the internet that this blah, blah, blah. And then here's a screenshot of a gift card. It must be real. To here's a change in the Google Play, store page that says. And then finally, Google today actually made the official announcement, about Target, Radio Shack, and GameStop being places that you can find them eventually. Within, I think, the next couple of weeks. Walmart.com will also be carrying these eventually as well.
Oh, we'll see them at my local Safeway and,
Eventually you probably
it'll
will.
just roll out.
And, where you won't see these right now is anywhere outside of the U.S. That's got a lot of people ticked off.
Yeah. Sorry about that, everybody internationally.
Because Google likes to test all their really cool things in the U.S. only, which, I mean, on one hand, kind of makes sense. They're based in the U.S. and, I'm sure there's a lot of extra research and red tape that they have to go through just to kind of move this into other areas. But nonetheless, this is really good, I think, to a large degree for, kind of taking away from kind of the piracy angle. A lot of people don't have credit cards, don't want to use their credit cards for purchasing through the Play Store. This is a way for them to not do that. Plus, kids that have devices or younger kids that aren't able to have a credit card, they get this and they can, instead of pirating those apps.
Speaking of only in the U.S., so I was in Canada this weekend, and I just was, I had a different SIM card. I got a Canadian SIM card, and I was just kind of going into the Play Store, and while we're sitting waiting for coffee, and I thought, I wonder what the free music song of the day is. I always go in there in the music tab.
Do you remember to check that every day?
Not every day.
And I never remember to check that.
I every once in a while, I remind myself, like, hey, there's probably some free songs, The music tab was not available when I launched the app because it's not available. The music store is not available in Canada. And I tweeted about it, and everybody's like, oh, well, welcome to Canada, Eileen. We don't get a lot of stuff. And I thought, that's
depressing.
Sad. And then someone told me, the free song of the day was Don't Dream It's Over by Crowd House. And I thought,
you're not missing anything.
I have that song already. Yeah, great. I'm so glad. Thank you.
But still, that sucks. I understand how much it's got to suck for Google to be rolling out all this cool stuff, and you find yourself an Android fan, and you can't use half of it. I totally understand the frustration.
Such a bummer. So I felt your pain for a little bit, Canada. I'm back home, and I'm now can launch my music tab in the Play Store. But so I'm sorry you can't participate in the Google Play gift cards quite yet.
Hopefully coming soon. That's absolutely no consolation whatsoever. But hey, there's hope, right? All right, let's take an email from Ted from Sweden. Says, you guys have a Nexus, right? Right. Have you noticed ghosting on your devices? I noticed it on my device the other day when I had brightness cranked up from being out in the sun. I was in owner info and minimized the keyboard, which is SwiftKey 3 with Cobalt theme, and I had ghosting from the keyboard. If you have used some light apps, it shows if you bring up the app switcher menu too. Do I have a bad screen, or can you see it too? Warning, cannot be unseen. What about you, Eileen?
I actually never I pulled this email because I thought, I wonder if Jason has seen that on his phone.
You've never seen that.
I don't think I have.
I have seen that, and I'm still trying to figure out if it's one of those things, like when you stare at a bright light for a really long time and then you close your eyes and you see the outline. I was trying to figure out, was it that, or did I actually see ghosting? And it's same scenario, actually, as Ted, using the Swift Key 3 keyboard. And I feel like I went to another, not necessarily a darker screen because you wouldn't see it because the pixels aren't lit up. But I went to, I think, Google Now, where, and as it's loading Google Now, it kind of gives you that flat kind of canvas thing before all the tiles appear there. And I would see it there for a couple of seconds, and then I don't know if it was my eyes or if it was actual ghosting. But yes, I know exactly what he's talking about. The second I read this, I was like, yes, it wasn't just me.
Let us know if you have experienced that out there too. Those of you with Galaxy Nexus.
Yeah, I don't really know what to recommend on this. Maybe don't crank up the screen brightness as much. But I'm curious to know if it's just us or, it could just be one of those things that once you see it, you can't unsee it.
I don't want to see it, so
don't see it.
Okay.
Just, stop yourself. Avert your eyes, Eileen.
I'll try.
All right, let's take a quick break and thank one of our sponsors for today's episode, the new Squarespace.com. It's faster and even easier to use than ever before. We both have Squarespace accounts and Squarespace sites. They've completely redesigned the content management system, and it's really impressive. They call it the new Squarespace because top to bottom, from a technical perspective, it's entirely new. HTML5, CSS3, JavaScript foundations, they've all integrated those things for speed and flexibility for future development. And from a user perspective, your sites have a really good mobile experience now. It scales to whatever size of device that you're using automatically. So if you're using this, it's going to look good on all different screens and do that scaling for you. You don't really have to think about it. It has just a ton of new templates that you can use as templates that you can use right out of the gate or as starting points for your designs, a page builder tool called Layout Engine, and that enables you to customize pages in seconds by adding blocks of content, things like photos, videos, text, social media content, galleries, just a ton of new features, and it just looks really slick. Now, you're moving your site over to...
I am moving slowly. So it's not a long process, but to me, tinkering and trying out the various templates does take a while. And I actually, it was like 11 o'clock at night. So it was the worst time to do it, right before bed. And I started before my vacation, too. And I started messing with it. So, Chad, if you go to my screen, this is my old template here. And so it's,
Yep, that has a very... Squarespace look to it.
Original.
Yeah, from the original, right.
And then this is my new one that Chad's shown a little bit. It's more Tumblr looking, isn't it? And there's so many different templates that are a little bit cleaner, a little bit better. And I love down here you have some of these you can like things.
Oh, that's neat.
These are kind of different. Here, look at all my tags. They come down a little bit differently. Shows the date, if there's a comment here. And you could share. Instantly, there's a share button. And then you could share it to all these different... Whatever you decide that you want to share it to.
Nice.
I've given access for Tumblr, Reddit, LinkedIn. I don't know why LinkedIn. I should change that. So I'm messing with it, and it's good. It's really clean, and I've just started. I felt like, oh, good. I'm glad we're talking about Squarespace. I have yet to move my domain. My original domain is eileentv.squarespace.com, and had a little bit of issues with that. And Squarespace was really, I kind of tweeted that out, and Squarespace was great. They were like, oh, just email us. We'll help you. And I went on vacation. So it's not that I just didn't have time, but I'm probably going to work on it this weekend because I really want to migrate everything over. So far, I've had a really good experience too. So I really, you can play around. I mean, this is the basic template that I have, and you could change the size of the font. Sure. You could change the background. You can have a picture in the background, all that stuff, and it's super easy to do. I just, was kind of just playing around with it.
Yeah, one thing that I noticed from the old kind of console, which was very based on like this bottom half of the screen with all the controls for doing things like resizing everything. In the new console, it's kind of more drag and drop. Like it's just a surface that you kind of go to the corner and you say, you know what, I want this to be smaller, drag it over, and it resizes everything dynamically. It's really cool.
Yeah, I think it's nice, and I think people jumping into it for the first time we'll have pretty much seamless experience. It's
Awesome.
really nice. I'm excited.
Well, the cool thing is you can try it for free if you want. You can go to squarespace.com and start using it right away. No credit card is needed to do this. You just sign up for a free account, try it out, start building your website, see where you can kind of get it, and see if you can get it to that point to where you're hooked, which you probably will. And then when you decide to purchase it, use our offer code about Android 8, and that'll get you 10% off your first purchase on new Squarespace accounts. This includes monthly and annual plans, so you can get 10% off of an annual plan if you use about Android 8. Don't forget about free domain registration with the annual plan subscription as well. So that's kind of a cool added bonus.
One more thing, Eileen, have you checked out the responsive design on your website yet?
My responsive design.
So responsive design is that new thing that developers are doing where you only have one style of web page. You don't have like a mobile version. So if you actually look at your site, all you have to do to see this design is pull the edge in and it'll automatically start moving around. See, now that's the mobile version. It gets smaller. It does all of this automatically for you. Yeah, so this would be like what you'd see on a tablet. This is what you'd see on a phone. And see, all your stuff is still there. It's all just this one site. Now your Pinterest buttons are down here instead of over here on the
My
side.
Pinterest buttons. I love it. This is going to be the
all
Pinterest
of your
day.
Pinterest buttons.
All of the Pinterest
all 20 to 30 of your Pinterest
They're all
buttons.
available.
That is really good. I was going to say, Chad, you are so smart, and you are smart. But Squarespace may be a little bit smarter because they're the ones that created that.
You didn't have to do a thing.
That's
pretty
so
awesome.
cool.
Thank you for showing that. So check it out, squarespace.com, offer code about Android 8, and get in there and see what you think about it. I think you're going to like it, and I can't wait to find the time to transition my site over.
I'm telling you, once you dive in, it's like you don't want to stop.
I know.
And I really didn't want to stop, and I had to.
Yeah, I mean, the cool thing about it, if you actually have a page, and this is not part of the whole ad read, but if you actually have a page, you can start to create your new version, and you don't have to move over immediately. Like, you can kind of work on it, get to a point.
Your old version lives forever, from what I understand. I was reading the FAQ on it, and your old version is always there.
So you can revert to it anytime if you wanted to? Back and forth?
Good question.
Yeah, I don't know.
I guess you can. But.
Well, thank you, Squarespace. Now let's get into hardware. All right.
So
let's do it.
August 29th. You know what that is?
That's what I've heard.
That is the day of Unpacked. Samsung Unpacked, right? That's what they call it. And we have a little video, Chad. Samsung Mobile Unpacked 2012 teaser starring the director of a movie called Wings of Desire.
Okay, I don't know him.
Here we go.
Whim.
We should play it.
Whim. It is magical.
Magical.
Now, keep in mind, Unpacked last year was where they announced this, right? The Galaxy Nexus.
So everything becomes an inspiration. I'm going to read some of this. There is a pen being pulled out.
That was like a samurai move right there.
And there's a pen drawing. All the things you can do to blink an eye. It's such a small and light thing. He's walking around, looking around. Says anybody can do it. Be creative. August 29th in Berlin. Your magical moments will come alive at Unpacked, a Samsung mobile event. And we all know it's the Galaxy Note 2.
That's what we're hearing. Yeah.
And apparently the successor will be quad-core with a 5.5-inch display. I'm curious about that pen. If there's a Spen, if there's anything different about it, there's supposed to be probably upgrade in memory, NFC hopefully. But, it remains kind of a mystery, although they're starting to give those teasers that Samsung does. They kind of there'll probably be another promo next week. Or right before the event with showing the device, or maybe moving, or giving you a curve or something.
Right, giving you a curve. That was the trick they did last year.
Yeah.
And then I was like, wow, it really looks like a phone docked into the back of a tablet. That's amazing.
Everybody thought
if that happens,
right?
that's going to be cool. Yeah, that totally didn't happen. But yeah, everybody knows this is the Note 2.
Totally. And then there are a couple of leaked photos of possibly the Note 2. This, again, it was a nice cult hit for Samsung. I feel like maybe the company took a chance with this bigger device with the Spen, and there were a lot of people who kind of dug it. So I'm hearing, again, quad-core processor, 2 gigs of RAM, the Spen-Tech. Jelly Bean could be on this, maybe. I hope so. You know what? It better have.
We're
it's
here
just
again,
one of those
aren't we?
things. We're here where we're like, please, okay, at least ice cream sandwich. It has to have at least ice cream sandwich.
Yeah,
right?
if it doesn't have ice cream
minimum.
sandwich, that's a huge fail. I doubt that. I doubt that would be the case. I kind of don't feel like they're going to have Jelly Bean, but they
how
should
about bet? Let's
at
bet.
this point.
Let's
I would
bet.
hope so. Yeah, okay.
$5 says they have Jelly Bean.
We're betting money.
Cookie? A cookie.
Let's see here. Let's just do an automatic tiebreaker. You're voting for
Jelly Bean. It's gonna have
I'm
Jelly
voting for ice cream sandwich. Chad, what do you think?
I think it's going to have Jelly Bean. I don't think they can compete without Jelly Bean.
Yeah. Okay.
And they've had enough time. Seriously.
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't matter though. There's
You
so
know
many
what?
phones that still come out with gingerbread.
You're
What
kind
the
of
heck?
right because they were one of the first devices to have Jelly Bean, right?
Yeah.
So
Right.
I mean,
On this device.
yeah, on the
Samsung
Galaxy Nexus. So it's not like they aren't familiar with it to some degree. But I don't know. I just don't have as much faith in
The
these
problem
companies'
is
abilities to do that.
I
fast.
bet it's going to be a badly skinned version of Jelly Bean.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
yeah, it's a TouchWiz.
That's
It's a
the
TouchWiz
thing.
version.
It's going to
TouchWiz ICS is not horrible, but it's not vanilla.
Yeah.
But, I have not played with the Motorola ICS on any of the droids.
And I've heard it's decent.
Yeah, they're all decent. There's nothing that can compare to a vanilla OS. But I have to say TouchWiz ICS was not horrible.
Right.
It wasn't. So Jelly Bean, as you get Google Now, you get some good, features. Should be hopefully okay. Yeah? I don't know.
I would love it if they rolled that out with Jelly Bean. Then you could just kind of assume that any of their new devices were just going to have Jelly Bean. But in the past we've expected this to happen, and then it ends up being the one before. With an update to Jelly Bean very, very soon, and you're just like, oh, geez, why can't you have everything? Why can't you have your cake and then eat it too?
I'm
at the
going
same
to be
time?
positive for all of us.
Okay.
The other reason.
Then I will just have that stake driven into my heart when it's not true.
I appreciate that, Eileen.
The other reason why I think that it's going to have Jelly Bean is because this is the Unpacked mobile event. This is their big event. It's going to be the phone that will be the standard for the next year. So I don't think that they would do it without it.
That's a really good point. If they were to kind of come out of the gate at their event and do that would be an easy arrow for people to shoot into kind of the launch of that device.
We'll see.
We'll see.
One more Samsung piece of information. I know we've talked in the past about the Galaxy Note 10.1. It will be available in the U.S. August 16th for $499.
10.1 inch screen, 1.4 gigahertz quad core. Yeah, we talked about this.
Yeah, all the multitasking, that kind of thing. There's actually, that James Franco is kind of their spokesperson for the 10.1. There's video of him
Oh, yeah, I saw
doing that.
something about that going around. I didn't actually watch the video, but
There's video of him being a spokesperson on that. And
does he bring credibility to the 10.1?
I don't know
or something
that
completely
someone
different.
like him can, but
Yeah.
I don't know. Can you dig that video up? It just might be kind of interesting, Chad, if you have a minute. I actually kind of want to see the whole thing. Some people in the chat room sparkling cyanide's like, I love that James Franco video. I love it. I don't know. I know I've seen photos of it. I haven't actually seen the whole video.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Maybe we'll get back to it after we talk about more Google stuff.
Yeah. Chad, you work on that?
Will do.
What's up?
Will do.
Okay. Thank you. I appreciate it. You're awesome. So, back in May, reports began to emerge hinting at changes in Google's Nexus strategy. That basically would ultimately mean multiple Nexus devices hitting the market by year's end. Now, it's debatable whether we've already seen that, right? Like, we've already seen the Nexus 7 and the Nexus Q at I.O., and these reports were hitting before I.O., if memory serves. So that very well could have been the multiple Nexus devices and then possibly the next Nexus phone, whatever that is. But Google's Jean-Baptiste Quiro? I'm sure it's probably Quiro, launched an experiment that involves community support of the Sony Xperia S within the Android open source project, much like is done for all official Nexus devices. Quiro says the Xperia S is a prime candidate for this treatment because it's a powerful current GSM device with an unlockable bootloader from a manufacturer that has always been very friendly to AOSP. Just kind of a cool kind of change of events, because if you really think about those reports back in May, if it isn't the Nexus 7, Nexus Q, Nexus phone that they were talking about then, could it be kind of similar to what we've been talking about that seems to come up time and time again, which is like a Nexus class of devices, where in a sense what you're seeing here is something along those lines, right? Sony Xperia S is being given the keys to some degree to being, to receiving that kind of open community support in the way that the other Nexus devices are. And if that's the case, that's kind of what we're looking at, right?
Sounds like it.
That's
Maybe.
awesome.
That could be pretty
That's
cool.
really cool. Like, this was a big, like, when I read this, I was like, wow, that's a really big story. I didn't see a whole lot of coverage about it, and I'm not quite sure why. And then I was like, well, maybe I'm misunderstanding it. But that sounds really cool. And if they start doing this with multiple manufacturers, that's just great for fans of Nexus devices and getting your support directly from Google and not waiting for it to come from the manufacturer. I also saw a lot of people that are really behind this because Sony's name is attached, which I was actually kind of surprised by a little bit.
I'm surprised with that too. I thought they had kind of like a negative.
I certainly didn't like the Tablet P.
Well, I think some of their phones have been decent. It's funny though. I hear back and forth in terms of the Xperia. Xperia phones, but
I know, but a lot of people are like, I love the Sony hardware. So there's a certain
Sony still has a big group of fans.
Yeah.
Despite some of their
their
problems,
their ways that they've PO'd people in the past in many different ways. So we'll see. This could be a pretty cool thing. Chad, you have it, don't you?
I found it.
Can we watch it?
So I watched a little bit of it, and it is ridiculous.
Okay, let's watch it.
Here it goes.
All right.
Here's the James Franco Samsung 10.1 video.
Oh, hi. I'm James Franco.
How long is it?
In the past few years,
2 minutes, 44 seconds.
acted in a bunch of movies.
But we don't have to watch it that long.
Yeah,
Written
let's
some,
watch part of it.
produced some, and have directed some. I've also appeared on a soap opera. I directed a theatrical dance company.
Did he?
Oh, really, James Franco?
Wrote a book of short stories. And I'm even directing this commercial. Bruce, give me a little wider.
Are you going to leave that egg on the pan?
And cue the tiger.
What? No. There's a tiger.
This way.
Oh, now he's doing a scene from Grease.
I'll walk with you, James Franco, of course.
And the whole time, if you're listening in audio, he's holding
James, I don't feel so good.
the 10.1
Really?
tablet.
With swollen glands. Stick out your tongue.
And he's taking a picture of her. He's using it in every moment of his directing of this
strep.
video.
I'll send that to your doctor just in case.
I call shenanigans. Sparkling cyanide says he never comes back to the egg.
Oh, see, it
No, I think that's the last thing he does. Is he comes back and it's perfectly cooked.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
all right.
so he's doing
are
the
we done?
multitask.
Yeah,
Are we
Yeah.
done? Yeah.
I'm going to watch
to
that.
self.
Oh, the burned egg. So there you go. The spokesperson for the Samsung 10.1.
It wasn't horrible.
No, I actually I was engaged.
Had a nice cutesy
breaking news. Breaking news. He right after this.
Do so much in such a short amount of time. I know what you're thinking. Time machine. Vampire. Maybe there's three of
He's
me.
back in the kitchen.
No. It's all about multitasking.
He did
Came back for the egg. He came back. Okay. Anyway.
It takes like a minute, and so he likes his eggs over easy. He didn't flip it. I noticed that.
If he didn't come back to that egg, I was banning
or sunny side
Samsung
up.
products.
Sorry, sunny side up.
So
Forever.
difficult. Yes.
All right,
Wow.
that was pretty good. It had a cheesy quality
It
to
seems
it. but,
like people liked it in the chat room, right?
That wasn't as bad as I was expecting it would be.
No,
But
I think
I don't know
he had
why
to
I
make it
expected it to
interesting,
be
and I love
bad.
the multitasking he was doing, and he was,
Yeah.
in real life and on the tablet at the same time. So, kind of using what that tablet should be, the top sort of performance of that tablet, which is multitasking. Loved it.
All right. Go James.
Go, James. All right. So we have just a few rumors. There are supposedly, now this sounds really cool, the Nikon's Android Power Coolpix S800. Really?
800C.
800C.
Yes, and of course, you end up with the gingerbread flavor. But what do you really expect to get out of a camera? Do you have to have Jelly Bean on a camera? I mean, it'd be
probably
cool,
not. But I don't know. I don't really know. So I never thought about having Android on my camera.
Yeah,
honestly.
it's a camera first running on Android.
And so maybe there's apps and stuff.
Kind of cool. Yeah, exactly. Being able to put your Instagram app directly on your point and shoot camera. It's kind of
and built-in GPS and Wi-Fi. Nice. Very, very nice. And, any other, if you're a camera person,
who knows if it takes good pictures.
Yeah, I think it probably takes good pictures.
That's a good line, right? They generally take good pictures, right? Nikon cool pics. I don't know.
Oh, we're not the first people to talk about cameras here.
I know. I'm so brain dead when it comes to cameras.
Also, there's some leaks of the Galaxy Nexus successor.
Purported leaks. Now, the interesting...
called the Superior, codename Superior, right?
Codename Superior, right.
Same as the GNX, except for 1.5 gigahertz dual core and 8 megapixel camera, 1.9 megapixel front, and a micro SD card slot. Wait, what?
Yeah, so this is what makes you kind of go, okay, there's no way in, down there that this is a Nexus device, because they just don't do that in Nexus devices. They've been trying to steer themselves clear from that because they want to eliminate the, quote, confusion of having the two different storage spaces. So what this kind of hints at, if this is real, is possibly similar kind of spec'd device, but possibly I would imagine running Samsung's TouchWiz. You know what I mean? Like an upgrade to the Nexus, to the Galaxy, whatever they want to call it.
Ladies don't love the TouchWiz,
but not necessarily an actual Nexus, right?
Yeah.
Samsung kind of righting some of the wrongs or the complaints that people have had about it, and all the stuff that I've been reading about this has been like, it's a decent mid-range phone, which then makes me ask, so what does that make this? Like, is this like a low-end phone then, if this is a decent mid-range phone? Like, this is still pretty reasonable. So that sounds nice, but it's not. If that's true, it's not going to be a Nexus. Guarantee it. Actually, I shouldn't guarantee it, but I feel very strongly about it.
Put your money on it. He doesn't want to bet. You're not a betting guy.
I don't like
You're
betting.
Not.
I know, I don't.
Oh, now I know. Because I was like, $5. Come on. $5 on the Jelly Bean.
I cower in fear.
You don't like Vegas, do you?
Well, when I go to Vegas, I don't bet. So there's that. The only time
I go to the shows.
I don't go to the shows. I just go and drink. But the only time I bet is when I have a dollar bill that I need to break for quarters. And a lot of times the easiest way to do that is to put it into a slot machine and pull the thing and then, get like your change back or whatever. That's the only time. And you might win.
Learning more about the Howell.
All right. So Neil writes in to aaa@twit.tv and says, the preseason has begun for NFL. I have searched for my favorite team on desktop Chrome on my phone, using Google Now's voice search, everything I can think of. It shows my favorite baseball team just fine, but not my favorite football team. How do I add it to the cards? Thank you for your help.
Get ready for football.
Yeah, so this is interesting because I've tried this as well. I want to add the Detroit Lions this year. I want to see what they're up to.
Yeah, you want that instant card.
It just won't do it. Here, I'll go ahead and pull this up and see if I can illustrate this. So, let's see.
Maybe they're getting ready.
Oh, that's okay. Here, let me try that again. Show me the score for the San Francisco Giants. Okay, I hope it didn't pick up the rest of my stuff. I wish it would just stop recognizing when I stop talking. So I'm doing baseball because it does it properly with baseball when I enter it properly, but I think I just totally screwed it up because I kept talking. Just work.
Just work, Google Now. Just work.
Hold on. I'll stop that.
Momentary.
Go. Show me the score for the San Francisco Giants. Okay. Now, hopefully it'll recognize. Oh, this isn't working. I hate you.
So, by the way,
and it did right when I hit back. It did.
It did it. Pro tip: you can hit the microphone again in the corner, and it'll stop recognizing your voice.
Oh, so
if you hit it once, talk, and then
all right. I'm only going to try this one more time, and then I'm not. My phone is changing modes here. Okay. All right. I'm only going to try this once more, and then I'm totally going to move on because this is boring. Show me the score for the San Francisco Giants. Okay, I give up.
Did I do it wrong?
I don't know. When I did that, it canceled it. All right, so here's what happens. You do it for the Giants, and it actually pulls up the card and shows you what you actually want to see. You do it for the Detroit Lions, and it pulls up a web search. But even when it does that, it's not giving you the card, right? But what I did when I was searching around is that there are a number of things that you can do to improve kind of your Google Now results. Now, I activated these things, and there's a link to the XDA forums, which I'll post in the chat room for everybody. And it has a number of things that you can check and kind of go through one by one to get the maximum kind of quality for your results in Google Now. Go in there and set these up. Still, in the end, though, I was not able to get it to pull Detroit Lions. What do you got here? Oh, you want me to do it? Father Robert Ballestero gave me his Nexus 7. We'll try it one more time. Is that what I'm doing? Okay, we'll try it one more time. One more time. And by gosh, it better work. Okay, here we go. Show me the score for the San Francisco Giants. It worked. Okay, so what you see up there is the card, right? That's great. And then we'll go back and show me the score for the Detroit Lions. And then we're going to get the web page. This is all stuff that I kind of already explained to you. The problem being, and what I noticed in my account specifically, why it wasn't working, potentially, and I think maybe once the official season starts, it might improve results, and that'll probably be a big change. But if you go into this XDA setup, there is a part of it on your Google account called web history that you need to enable. And when I went into mine was not enabled, and I thought it was. I thought I was totally set up for it. And you can actually do that from, your Google homepage on like your laptop or whatever. You can do it through your phone, but sometimes it's harder to get to those things. And you enable that, and then it'll start giving you kind of a history of all the things that you search for and integrating that into your Google Now, all the past history stuff. So it starts taking that into account. I don't know why that wasn't set up or is set up for some by default when you get, a Jelly Bean device and do this. I thought I was, but it wasn't. So check out this how-to. It's at our show notes, twit.tv/AAA73. And that's where the show notes are going to be posted. Wow, that was a long time to get there. I'm sorry, folks, that the demo didn't work, but there we go. All right. Cool.
Time for apps. So I'll take this one.
You got it.
I am on Pinterest, and many people like me are on Pinterest. Actually,
I thought you were saying that many people like you.
Yeah. Oh, many people like me too. Yeah, and I have noticed a few more of the male gender joining Pinterest. I think they just kind of accidentally do it via Facebook or whatever. But I just see that they've signed up. And the iOS folks have had an iPhone app for a while, and there was a big party last week, big celebration for Pinterest. And what they did was they rolled out their first native iPad app and Android app as well. Works on both. I've got them here on my Nexus 7 and my Google Nexus phone, and it looks actually much nicer, I think, on my Nexus 7, just because it's bigger and you can kind of see the landscape. Oh, here it is. I'm going to show you Pinterest, and you can kind of browse, see other people, the people that I follow. You can create a Pinterest pin by the photos that you have here. It's a very simple app, but I'm glad to see that it's finally made it to Android. I'm a big fan of the competitor Fancy that I actually featured
that was
a while back. And now Pinterest, I said the whole time, I'm like, well, I hope Pinterest comes out with an app, and now they have. And so when you hit the search button at the top left-hand corner, you can see all the different categories. You could see every post that comes in, like by the second. You can see the popular posts, and then it just kind of drops it in or separates the rest by categories. And you can go in there, you can search and post and pin from your mobile device.
Ooh.
Those of you who are big fans of Pinterest, it is there.
Ooh.
Bam.
Yeah, they were showing this off at Google I/O and played around with it a little bit. Yeah, they had the app.
A little booth.
They had the app there, and I was playing around with it, for a little bit. I mean, I have a Pinterest account. I've just, I signed up for it when I heard about it because I usually like to sign up for the services.
I still think guys are better off using Fancy, and just because, I mean, if you look at the everything tab here, I mean, I don't know, nail polish, wedding dresses, lingerie, I don't know, food. Are you interested in any of this stuff?
Tank tops.
I don't know.
Whereas
if you go to Fancy, there's more mixed gender kind of items, I think, that you'll find. I hate to be a generalist in that, but it just seems to me that's kind of the case.
Yeah,
although Trey Ratcliffe is very he's on Pinterest quite a bit, and he shows off his photos. So you can kind of stay in a category and maybe enjoy your experience there instead of seeing the everything tab.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
I see the value of the service, and I actually like what they're doing for what it is. But yeah, I think you're right. Like the time that I signed up for it and scanned through it, I didn't really see a whole lot that really kind of not necessarily applied to me, but there wasn't a whole lot that I saw that I was like, ooh, okay, this is going to keep me coming back because I want to see more of this kind of stuff. However, on the other hand, I do see why that's beneficial if you are finding a lot of stuff that you like through there. See why people like it.
And now the guys are all excited that there's lingerie on Pinterest.
Yeah, CR1, I doubt there's any sumo wrestling suits on Pinterest. It's possible. Maybe. I don't know why you said that. That's such a strange, random thing to say in chat. That makes no sense.
Everything's
to
on
today's
Pinterest.
programming.
Sumo suit.
Oh yeah, there's got.
You think? I don't know. Sumo suit.
Oh my gosh.
On Pinterest.
Okay, I'm going right back to my account.
Self-inflating, very funny. I'm going to like that. Thank you very much, Pinterest, for showing me.
Excellent.
Sumo suit. See?
Excellent.
Everything's on there.
You pulled off the impossible, Pinterest.
The stuff that brims to the top are more probably female applicable. But I think if you dig a little bit more, you'll find something for you.
Or use nice keywords like sumo.
Yeah. There you go.
Excellent. Google Maps, which is an app that is kind of indispensable on any Android device, has been updated, bringing a number of upgrades to their transit information. So if you live in a city or town that has a lot of public transit, you have more of a likelihood that it's included in Google Maps. They're including more modes of transportation on the map, so you can hide the ones that you're not using on a map and just show the one that you are, showing your stations. Google also touted that they have more than 1 million transit stops worldwide at this point. So making that Maps app even better. It's such a great app. Ever since I moved out of San Francisco, though, I never look at transit maps at all. So personally, this would have been really useful a year ago. Not so much now.
All right, moving on to Twitter. We talk a lot about Twitter apps here. I've complained a lot.
Just we really do talk about Twitter apps a lot.
Just an update. I don't use Slice anymore.
Yeah.
It's been I was so excited a couple weeks ago when Jessica Dolcourt showed it to me. And I love a lot of the features. There's just a lot of things that I think you have to do too many extra steps to get to what you want. I don't like that. I want to just hit the tab and, pull to refresh. I don't want to have to go into another window, whatever.
That'd kill it for me right there.
Yeah, there's too many steps to get to what you want. So I stopped using it. I'm back to Boyd and the official Twitter app. Speaking of the official Twitter app and Twitter, they have new API changes that kind of blew up last week. And there was a lot of, I saw a lot of, on my vacation, as I checked Twitter, a lot of people were angry saying, I'm going to get off Twitter and I'm going to probably use G Plus more. I'm like, really? Are you? Anyway, I love G Plus, but I'm like, really? You're not going to use Twitter anymore? So they changed some of the terms of Twitter API, kind of creating issues for third-party Twitter clients. And it seems to me, just in summary, that there's limits now to how many people can sign up for a third-party Twitter client. And that's going to break a lot of developers' hearts if it hasn't already.
Potentially,
I think, because essentially you can have, I don't know what the number was, but several 100,000 and then it stops. There's millions of users on Twitter. So if I say, hey, Jason, check out Slice, and then there's a limit to how many people can use the app.
100,000 users.
Right. It's 100,000. So once it hits that limit, and then maybe I've told you after that limit has been met, and then you can't even use the
Yeah,
app,
what's
right?
weird to me about that is that someone would put out an app and that there would be a user limit. And I mean, Twitter, so it's like, great, you have this really successful app, but no one else can sign up for it. I'm sorry, as a developer, I cannot offer it to any more people unless somebody closes their account, or I don't really know how you approach that. I mean, I do know that Twitter said, hey, if you hit that point, get in touch with us, because what they want to do is then work closer with that developer, probably to kind of influence them in the ways that they can kind of run that app in a way that is beneficial to Twitter, instead of what they think, which is kind of piggybacking off their service, even though that's kind of how they got really big in the first place. Yeah, it's kind of a bummer.
I'm getting the sense that this is not a good thing, and I understand what all the hubbub was from last week now that I've kind of dug in, and I think that's sad. I do. On
the other hand, you can kind of understand where Twitter's coming from in the sense that they want to control their system. I guess the big downside to this and the bummer about this is that like we said, that's kind of how the service became as popular as it did. And that's one thing that I've really liked about Twitter is the variety of ways that you can do it. There's so many Twitter apps on Android in particular, and chances are you can find one that does most of the things you're looking for. They also don't want you to be able to block or alter the look of the feed. So if you have a Twitter app that allows you to block, I believe, block people or filter out things,
I don't like that
they don't want you to be able to do that. They want
I
it to be
mute,
true.
though. I want to mute
and that
when everybody goes to South by Southwest, and I'm not there.
Yeah.
I want to mute when everybody's talking about a game that I don't care about.
Yeah.
I don't use it as much, but now that if I'm being told that might be taken away, I don't like that.
Suddenly they tell you can't have it and you want it. Right?
No, that's always the case, right?
Yeah, it's like, no, but I want all that freedom. Even if I don't use it, I want it.
Does this mean the end of good Twitter apps or Twitter apps in general? Do you think I'm still struggling to find my perfect one anyway. So
I don't know. That's a really good question. Right.
I would say that it is, because if you're a developer, why would you want
do this?
Why would you want to put your eggs into the Twitter basket? No.
You're not going to you're only going to get up to a limit, and then it's going to stop.
I don't see any new developers adopting Twitter as the platform.
I think this is going to backfire on Twitter, and I think they're going to have to change their stance.
Yeah. Do you think that they're going to be pushed to the point to where they have to?
I'm going to bet $5 on it.
Our title has to be something about betting $5, apparently.
I'm in a betting mood. All right. Well, that's Twitter for you. Let's move on to our last email. I think it's our last email of the show. Yeah. Hey, guys, this is from Jake. It seems the Humble Bundle folks are at it again with a new bundle for Android and cross-platform. Of course, I've participated in the first two Android ones, and I've spent hours playing games such as Cannonball, Osmos, Swords and Soldiers, etc. There are a couple of brand new games to Android, bit.tripbeat, oh, I like that game, and bonus game for paying more for the average, Spirits, oh, nice, debuting in the bundle, as well as a good old tower defense convert, Field Runners. I know you guys know about Humble Bundle already, but I like to share with as many people as possible. It's a win-win. I get sweet games at an excellent price and help devs, charity, and the EFF all at once. Thanks for everything you do. Thank you, Jake from Cedar Rapids. And, dude, Spirits and bit.tripbeat, I know those games. Those are really fun. And Field Runners, if you don't already have it.
Played it already. It's fantastic.
Space Chem, I'm not familiar with that. And Uplink, I'm not familiar with that either. Anyway, the money goes to charity and EFF, or you could tell it where to go. We've talked about Humble Bundle before.
Yeah,
and you should just do it. It's a good deal. And you should just do it.
And we like our deals. We like to get those little bonus deals.
I will do it today. I'm going to bet you all I'm going to get a Humble Bundle after this show. There you go.
Humble Bundle.
Humble Bundle.
Chad, you posted this kind of breaking news.
Breaking news. Here we go.
Yes. Excellent. Phew. Woo. I wasn't sure whether we save it to the end where all of our breaking news ends up being played at the very end of the show. But, it's probably good to just break it when we have it, right? Get down.
Right, that's what I'm thinking. We got it now. It's breaking.
Yeah.
Later, it'll be 3 minutes less breaking.
Exactly. Let's break our moneymaker.
So, apparently, the Samsung Galaxy 3 International phone is going to get Jelly Bean update next week.
After the Unpacked event on August 29th. That's the rumor?
Wait,
Is it rumor?
It's after next week is the. Oh my god!
Yeah.
Next week is the event already.
Yeah.
I thought we were 2 weeks away. I'm so confused.
Okay. So then, if this is true, absolutely
right
yes,
on the
absolutely
on the jelly bean for
the note getting jelly bean
to bet because I would have gotten the $5.
Money on the table.
No, $5.
Yeah, I mean, if they're announcing that the S3 is getting jelly bean next week, that would be ridiculous for them to then have a device that big, as big a device as the Note is. The Note 2 is going to be, and it not be on the same. So, yes, these bets are flying crazy. Should I just get $1 bills out? Yeah, money on the table, yo.
Wait,
not a receipt, but money on the table.
Wait, are you still ice cream sandwich?
No, I just wanted to flash my money.
Look how rich you are.
I just wanted to show off my big bills. Huh? Check this out. This is like $5.
Make it rain, Jason. Make it rain.
Hey, guess what I have? I have a Canadian $10 bill, everybody.
Wow.
Making it rain.
But it's a single bill. Not nearly as impressive.
But it's 10.
But it's more. Okay. All right, fine. You one-upped me with bills.
Oh, and I have $2 coins.
Yeah, that'll make a nice sound. Drop it. Yeah. That's the sound of money right there.
Ooh. Oh, you missed it.
Excellent.
I'm spinning now. Okay.
All right. I have a good feeling that Ford's going to appreciate that as the lead-in to their sponsor read. We thank you so much in advance, Ford, for sponsoring this episode of All About Android. Now, Ayaz and Leo, they had a kind of a conversation with Ford's leading technologist, Jim Bukowski, about his views on the future of technology in vehicles, and kind of learned a lot of stuff that Ayaz, at least on TNT, has been very tight-lipped about. Can't talk about it yet, but it's pretty cool stuff that is on the forefront for Ford. They are also kind of doing this social.ford.com social push. And essentially what the kind of idea is you go to Ford Social and you can kind of share your ideas in the community with ways that Ford can improve on a number of different topics. Things like convenience, being green, performance, personalization, safety, all of these things. As a community participant, you can go in there and submit your ideas and let Ford know kind of what you're thinking about on ways that they can kind of improve their line of vehicles. And then other members of the community can go in there, vote it up, comment on it. Just kind of a really cool way to connect with the community and generate some cool ideas. Things like Wi-Fi music sharing between Ford vehicles, biodiesel hybrid, that was submitted by a 15-year-old, automatic sunscreens, wind turbine under the hood that charges a lithium-ion battery. Now, as a tech geek, Ford wants to hear your ideas too, so you are invited. They invite you to join the conversation. So go to social.ford.com to read more about the ideas, as well as submit your own ideas and like your favorite ideas. And of course, while you're there, be sure to grab your Tech Geek badge. It's all about the badges these days, folks. And read a blog post that actually Leo submitted to the site about his call with Jim Bukowski. That's all at social.ford.com. And we really thank Ford so much for their support of All About Android. I hope I do you justice in reading your stuff and preceding it by the throwing around of cash money.
We're going to need to pay for a car, so it kind of makes sense,
true.
Right?
This is a down payment. This $7 is a down payment for a Ford.
We're going to make this work.
Thank you very much. I can't wait to see what I end up with. All right, let's jump into the arena.
2 enter, 1 lives. Android Arena.
So what happened last week?
Well, last week, Father Robert Balacer was on with Ron and I, and we had a great episode. Father Robert was a fantastic guest.
Let me guess. Ron did Seat Guru.
The 5% for Seat Guru. Yes, you would be right.
Well, he travels the most, so he probably has
the thing is, Seat Guru is awesome.
It is awesome.
I love Seat Guru.
Yeah.
It paled in comparison to the questionable number of votes generated for both click-free automatic backup and Insta Wi-Fi.
Insta Wi-Fi seems to have won.
I'm not. You know what? I don't think I'm willing to give a winner this week, even though it's my app that's winning. Earlier,
What happened?
it wasn't. Because if you really break down, man, someone on Google Plus, and I'll look it up while I'm talking. But
It's
if you
around 3,000 votes.
yes,
We never get that many.
No, we never get anywhere
We get like
near
500.
that amount.
Maybe
And
1,000, maybe.
man, let's
But
see
not
here.
even. 500.
I'll find the person. I posted it on Google Plus to say, like, wow, this is kind of crazy. And his name is, oh, wow, it's a really hard name to say, NSE. So, Nsi Ikong. I'm so pronouncing that wrong, and I'm really sorry.
What's happening here? Are you speaking a different language?
But thank you for submitting this. He took a look at the votes and said Canada as a whole has only 23 votes between the other two, while click-free automatic backup has 651 votes from Ontario. Ditto with Behar County in Texas in the U.S. with 147 votes. So there's something weird going on here. Actually, a little bit later in that Google Plus thread, Ben Schechter of Go Poll Go had a comment and said, hey, founder of Go Poll Go here. We take a number of measures to prevent against vote fraud and have noticed this poll as well. Something does seem a bit fishy, and we're looking into it to see how someone has found a way to spam the poll. So I don't think anyone should win, any app should win from that week. It's pretty obvious, and it was pretty obvious while we were doing the show live, that click-free automatic backup and Insta Wi-Fi were locked in a dead heat. It was very even across the board. So let's just say that, those were two popular apps. Neither necessarily wins, neither necessarily loses. Please, okay, this is just my personal plea. If you actually watch this show and you actually like it, don't do that. Because we do this because we think it's a great way to highlight these apps. And it's really hard when this happens because now we can't tell you which app earned the first spot. Granted, they both kind of did in this case, but still, like, that sucks. Don't do that. Thank you. All right, so
Back to the apps.
Back to the apps. So this week we have 3 apps. Ron is not here. Chad, you have an app to offer to the arena. We really appreciate that. But let's start with Eileen.
Yes, let's start with me. I have a game, and I have a game that I have to say I've known about for a while. It's been in the iOS world for a while, and I've never played it on iOS. And I heard people saying, it's such a great game, fun. All right, whatever. I just never got around to it. But guess what? That game that I'm about to tell you about is now available on Android, sort of. I doubt I'm going to win because a lot of you are going to be like, I can't download it. The game is called Jetpack Joyride, and right now it's only available on Amazon, and it's free on Amazon. So I think that eliminates all of the wonderful international countries that watch our show. But I'm sure it's going to be available on Google Play eventually. I don't think we have a timeline, but let me show you the game itself. Basically, you are Barry Steak Fries, and you have a jetpack that you need to use in order to navigate, gain coins. It's a side-scroller game, and it is super, super fun. You can actually upgrade and get other jetpacks. I haven't really done that yet, but essentially, I'm going to touch anywhere to play. Let's see if I can do this in a easy manner. It's a simple game. You break out of a wall,
Heart attack.
and you have to, here, you just kind of tap to get your jetpack going. Now, you want to collect these coins. You have some missions as well, but you actually have to avoid those glowy things up there. I'm going to jump over it. I'm going to walk under it. I'm going to jump over. Oh my gosh, be careful. And you have to kind of learn how to use the jetpack.
Yeah.
Oh, and then there's things that come at you like other rockets. And you kind of tell where it's coming from. Oh, I'm kind of losing the... Okay, now you want to collect these coins because those coins you can buy and upgrade your jetpack or get other items. Okay, I'm going to grab as many coins as possible.
Are those bullets coming out of his jetpack?
Many power-ups, like being on a motorcycle. You want to get this... Woo! You want to get the spin token. You want to jump up around. Oh! Got to be careful not to... Oh, no. All right, but I'm not dead yet.
Just lost the...
I'm not dead yet. I just lost the power-up. So now, we got to be careful. There's a rocket that's going to come at me. You got to jump. And you're... Oh, no. Okay, you stay up. There's a lot of... Look at those lasers trying to get me. And now here I go. This is actually... I can't believe I'm doing this well. Coins! How fun is this game? I swear to you, I had a lot of fun playing this, and I need to... Whoa! Oh, no! What just happened? Oh, I'm still alive! Oh, my God, I'm still alive. Here I go. This is epic.
Oh, you've been.
And then you have these weird things where once you collect a spin coin, if you can show, this will get spin coin, and then you just kind of, come on. Sometimes you get power-ups that you go back to the game and you win. You get another chance. I know.
Man, you know, there's one thing I know about you coming to the arena with a game. It's going to stress me out like crazy.
So just let me show you around a little bit here on the game itself. There you go. There's various missions while you're playing the game too. Boy, I can't touch. They give you some missions to get power-ups and extra coinage.
Okay.
You can actually go into a store and you could do in-app purchasing. You can buy new clothes. You can buy, whoa, come on, dude. New gadgets, new jetpacks, vehicle upgrades, etc., etc. You can even buy more coins if that really is your thing. But essentially, that is Jetpack Joyride. It is so much fun on my Nexus 7 tablet, but it's also fun on your phone as well. And it's only available on Amazon. I'm sorry, but I really wanted to now. Just right now. You know how they release games early and they kind of give it to a store first. You know, like, what was it? Get Jar got certain things first, like Cut the Rope and that kind of thing. It's going to come to the Google Play Store. It's really fun. Did you not have fun watching me play that?
My heart's still kind of beating. I just don't want to have a heart attack. Don't press start again, because that bust through the wall at the beginning freaked me out.
That bust through the wall. Oh, there's a way you get a power up by busting through the wall 5 times, and I haven't figured that out. I don't know why. I don't know how to do that. But anyway, then you get more points the farthest you go. Right now, I'm at 2,263 meters. Oh, it's so much fun. There's, little things like you bust these scientists here that are you give them high fives, apparently, and then you can get some points there. There's lots of different little missions on this thing. So it's not just scrolling all the way through, but then there's all these weird power-ups like a lizard, and
there's a dragon
like
on the Amazon.
The one. That is so fun when you get that dragon.
Wow, that looks very Nintendo right there.
So cool. I love this game. It's so much fun, and right now it's free in the U.S. if you have Amazon. I know a lot of you probably don't like it, but that it's only on Amazon. But it is fun. Look at all those fun power-ups. I had a blast.
And
now
it's free.
I understand. And it's free right now.
Man. I think I'm coming down a little bit. Yeah, this just that bust through the wall.
It looked like there were bullets coming out of his jetpack.
Yeah, it does, because you can actually, you can kind of stop the scientists. You can kind of like, I don't think you kill them. You just kind of,
silence them.
They just go to sleep.
Yeah, they kind of fall down.
They fall
down to the
long
ground,
time.
and then they stop, but they're still there, and there's no blood or anything. So it's kind of nice and kind of fun. Jetpack Joyride,
good stuff.
Free on the Amazon App Store, and I'm sure it will be later.
I'll have to log into the Amazon App Store for the first time in months and pick that up. I've totally stopped. By the way, I don't even go in there anymore for the daily thing.
Oh, you kill them dead? Savage Mike says you kill them dead. Anyway, I like to pretend like they're not dead and they're just asleep.
Yeah.
Okay.
They'll wake up later.
Thank you.
All right, Chad, you are up next.
Okay, so my app is a utility. It's a utility that I install on every phone that I get, and we review a whole bunch of phones here. So it's one of the first things that I install on my review units. And it's something that ships with a lot of phones. There's a stock version. It's just a flashlight app. The app is Tesla LED. It is free. But the thing that makes this app my favorite out of all the others are a few of the features. So let me go ahead and get into those. Let me not show you my security code. So first, Tesla LED has a widget. And so if you just need a flashlight as fast as possible, all you have to do is toggle the widget, and then you can see that my LED turns on. And just that delay there is a problem with the Nexus, Galaxy Nexus. It just takes a while for the LED to sort of wake up. So let's go ahead and get into... So that toggle widget is really useful, and also, it's styled. You can tell that it's styled for ice cream sandwich. So if I add the widget again, I have a lot of apps, so sorry about that. But if I add the widget again, you can see that I get styling options once I drop it down. So if you have an HTC phone, you can make it look more like Sense. If you have Ice Cream Sandwich, you can do that. It even has Motorola sort of styles down here, Cyanogen mod styles. So it's going to fit your phone device however the heck you want. So I'm going to go ahead and back out of that because I don't need another widget. Now let's go ahead and get into the app. The reason that I like this app above all the others is
there's a lot of flashlight apps.
There's a ton of flashlight apps. And the reason I like this one is because, one, it's dead simple. It's pretty hard to make a very complicated app. But it also has things like, this is a timer. So I chose 1 minute here. So after 1 minute, my LED will go off. So if I'm trying to read a book or listen to music while I'm camping, I don't have to worry about my battery dying after an extended period of time. Also, I can do strobe light if I wanted to, have a party going on. Woo! Do. Luckily, this isn't too distracting because it's just hitting the TD desk there. And then the killer feature that I really like is Morse code. So, in this Morse code, I have SOS typed in here. And so it's actually going to go ahead and send Morse code, something that I have no idea how to create or read. But it'll go ahead and make whatever the heck I type in there. I don't know. I always have these complexes that I'll be caught on an island, and I'll use my Galaxy Nexus to send Morse code to a plane. And then also,
it could happen.
It could happen. It could happen to you. And then it does the two other features are it does a screen brightness instead of a LED brightness. And so it'll use your screen instead of your LED if you don't have an LED built into your device. And then also it does a police mode, so you can scare your friends by sitting this in the back of the car when they are unawares. Oh. And that's all Tesla LED does. And it's free, but it's really useful. It's really light. And the fact that it has a widget that you can toggle your light on and off, and you can put it right on your home screen and get to it faster than any other app is really useful. So that is my pick, Tesla LED.
Tesla!
Excellent. Tesla. Everybody needs this, that class of app is something that you need on your phone. Because at some point it comes in handy just having that light. It's like, man, I need a light. Oh, wait a minute, I have my phone.
Yeah, I actually do use my phone. I'm probably going to download that app, but I kind of tip it on and then just have it kind of like a mid-light going on. I got to do that and go, okay.
But then you got to make sure you got to touch the screen again because it might go on.
Kind of a pain.
And then HTC also ships, their own flashlight app that has different modes of intensity. But I like the Tesla LED one because it has those other features. Scaring my friends with police sirens is always fun.
Tesla.
Yeah. All right, so that is Tesla LED. Excellent. It looks like all of our apps are free today. So that's a nice little
there we
uniter.
Go. We did not plan this, but the arena is free apps.
That's right. Free. Totally planned, even though it's not. Mine included. Mine is called Pattern, and that is Pattrn, just to make it more complicated.
Like those hipster spellings.
Pattern. Now, when I was actually working on my Squarespace site over a year ago, or however long it was ago, year and a half ago, I'm really bad with web design and color matching and all that kind of stuff. And I found a site called Color Lovers, COLOUR Lovers. And it's a community site where people who are a lot better with colors than I am and fans of colors go to create palettes, essentially. And they create palettes, they create designs. And it's a really cool way, I found, to kind of go there and find a palette combination that you can then kind of fold into your site and not have to think about what colors go with what other ones. It was just kind of a nifty way to do that. Well, Pattern is a site that basically shows you patterns created by the community of color lovers. And it's kind of cool just in the sense that you can kind of go in there and browse all these patterns. You aren't necessarily going to like all of them, but right now we're looking at the latest patterns. And what you can do then is if you find one that you like, you click it, it pulls up the full screen one, and you can kind of see the palette choices down at the bottom, right? So those are all the colors that are used in this design. Of course, this only has one view right now because it's latest, so it hasn't had a whole lot of time to do anything. You can set that as your wallpaper. So I can just go ahead and set that as my wallpaper, and boom, it's now my wallpaper. So if you want an easy way to kind of switch up your wallpaper on a regular basis, you can do that. You can drill down on a particular color that you like. So if you want to find other designs that utilize a color that you have, you can go ahead and click on that red down there, say show other patterns using this color. Yes, start the search. And it'll start to pull back a bunch of results that all have that color buried
I see that on your website, the
inside.
Hearts. The hearts.
What's that? Is that on their website?
No, it should be on yours.
Oh, should I set this as my desktop?
That's the
my
one.
wallpaper?
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, so I'll go ahead and set the hearts as my wallpaper.
I think it works well for
And what do you know? I've got hearts as my wallpaper.
It's very fitting. You should never change that.
I will never, ever change it except for in a few minutes when I find something else. So I'll go ahead and search for this gray color.
Are you going to put money on that? Are you sure?
No, I'm done betting for the day. I've already lost the $7 that are on the table.
I'm going to bet that he's going to change his wallpaper.
Yeah, that's a good bet to be made. It's just kind of one of those apps that like you kind of get lost on the more you kind of thumb around and play with it. Let's see here. So I'll go back out here. So this is the latest tab. You also have popular. So these are kind of trending designs that are coming up. You can also do a search. So if I do a search for dark, for instance, I'll do that search and it'll pull back things that have been tagged with dark as kind of a keyword within those designs. Now, these are all created by the Color Lovers community, as I said, so they're kind of community creations, and it's just a really easy way to kind of go in there and find some new wallpapers real quick and check it every once in a while, find something cool. Or you can use it as a tool. Like I said, I used the site, not the app, but the site to kind of come up with color palettes for my website. I thought that was kind of a neat thing to be able to do. And then, of course, there's just kind of the stats and stuff that you can find about the different things. 474 views, 8 comments, which you can see through the site. Unfortunately, you can't see the comments through the app. I'm hoping that someday they change that. But you can also star things, so you can kind of favorite some of these designs, keep them in your favorites bucket, and then when you are feeling the need to kind of change things up on your phone, go to pattern and go to your favorites list and throw something new on there. Very easy to use, and it's just the app in general has a pretty cool design to it as well. So that is called Pattern, Pattrn, and it's free. Check it out. I get lost in that app, kind of looking through different designs. So there you go, a designs app. And it works really well on tablet as well, by the way.
Did you change the hearts already?
Oh, did I? No, I don't.
I shouldn't have said anything.
I should have kept my bet.
I
wasn't going to change it.
I'm setting whatever this one is. Boom. Yes, I've changed it.
Darn it.
What's that? Roads of Paradise.
Yeah, it's actually not a horrible one. A little bright for my taste, but
bright,
yeah.
I don't see you with pink on your wallpaper.
You don't?
I don't know. I don't think that's your thing, no?
You haven't been looking at my wallpaper.
It's very new. It's very
Let's help Jason change.
Whoa, that blue one was cool.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the blue one I thought was.
Whoa.
It's kind of little hearts, too. I'm not going to.
Is there
I know
hearts
you guys
on
are trying
there?
to.
Why are you heart hating?
Yeah, you guys
Jason
are trying to
hates
trick me
hearts.
into getting hearts
That
and
one,
butterflies.
that's the one.
The butterfly. There you go.
Or
Let's help
umbrellas.
Yeah, this is really nice to just have such a huge database of backgrounds.
Oh, totally. Yeah, that's why it's so easy to get lost in it. The one thing about browsing through it is they kind of they cap out your results at 54 for any particular thing, which means you just kind of have to get creative with searches. Actually, one search that I did at one point was Android. Let me do that real quick. And then
hey, Android wallpapers.
And what do we have here? Pulling back the results. Some of them don't have much to do with it. Some of them do.
Oh, that's cool.
Set that one.
That's a good
default one. And boom.
There you go.
That is really confusing, though, with the icons, I got to say.
That is so confusing.
But whatever. I'm sticking with it.
I win my bet. He
not
changed his wallpaper. I'm so excited to win the bet.
There we go. Wow. We must want to go to Vegas or something.
Should we bet on who's going to win the poll?
Let's bet on who's going to Vegas.
I'm not going to win. I will bet I will not win the poll because of my Amazon standing.
I don't know. You never know.
Because it's not available for everybody, so people are going to get mad about that.
Well, we'll see. bit.ly/AAA73poll. bit.ly/AAA73poll. And let us know which is your favorite app this week. Is it Jetpack Joyride? Yeah, that
I'm going to break through that wall
That was
again.
definitely adrenaline creating, which is a good thing for your voting.
I was actually really surprised that I was able to get through as long as I did.
That was a good demo.
Yeah, you did really
usually
well.
when I'm talking and
it's not an
about
easy
a
thing
game,
to do,
it's
for sure.
really difficult because you're trying to describe, but then you're also trying to stay alive.
Mm-hmm. Describe and stay alive.
Describe and stay alive. Is that
Jetpack Joyride, Tesla LED flashlight, or pattern? Vote bit.ly/AAA73 poll. So did we already kind of do the breaking news that's going to happen? There's no other breaking news that could possibly happen.
I don't
at this
know.
point?
It's up to the breaking news graphic.
news!
If the breaking news is gonna.
Oh man! So now we need breaking news. Breaking news, ladies and gentlemen. We have reached the end of today's episode.
I was like, is there breaking news? I didn't. I was seriously thinking. I was looking at the chat room like, did something?
Well, actually, I thought there was breaking news. The breaking news was that T-Mobile might be doing actual unlimited 4G data on Gizmodo.
Okay.
I thought that's what you guys were talking about. Sorry, I wouldn't.
No.
The graphic wouldn't have happened if.
Oh. Well, sure.
There's
That's
that.
okay. I mean, it's
kind
Android
of
related.
breaking,
It's kind of
sort of
Not
breaking.
necessarily Android.
Can we take-
I
But
know.
should we
Whenever we
take it
talk about
back
just
to
mobile
breaking?
plans, people are like, "This is Android show."
Yeah, exactly.
Don't talk about mobile.
That's okay. I think the fact that the show is ending is breaking
that's good
news
breaking
enough.
news.
So,
Good
Yeah.
breaking news.
well, let's start with you, Chad. What would you like to promote?
Oh, well, I just started a new. They're really good. Let's just do the other one just
you
for
like me
good.
to
There
play
you go.
Jetpack Joyride again?
Yeah, go ahead. I just started a new show, OMG Craft. So please go check it out. It's all about Minecraft. We record here on the live stream, TWiT's live stream on Wednesday around 8 p.m. Pacific. But what you really should do is go to omgcraft.com and check it out. That first episode has been posted, and we're working on episode 2 this week. So,
Congratulations.
Yeah. Thank you.
So, real quick, what do you think of Minecraft for Android?
It's the Pocket Edition is what you're talking about.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Might want to
and they-
show my machine.
Oh, you got something?
You might want to show.
Oh, you got the dragon coins.
Sorry.
No problem. No. Can you get a second one if you get that other coin? The Pocket Edition of Minecraft actually just got updated, and it adds the skeletons with bows and arrows, and that's nice, but it's not the same as the good old PC version. Same thing with they're actually, the development cycle is further behind the actual Minecraft game that you're going to download. So,
Okay.
So I like it. It's great if, in fact, I was talking to someone earlier who was using just the Pocket Edition. So it's great and it definitely costs a lot less than the full PC $26 version. So
Right.
It's for some people, but not quite for me. And you can't mod it, which is the fun
You
part.
can't mod it, yeah. So do you have access to the full levels of Minecraft?
You
worlds?
have access. You sort of have. I mean, it will generate worlds like Minecraft does. Minecraft really doesn't have levels. It won't create some of the newer versions of those worlds because those are in further updates. In update like 1.2.5, I think large biomes was added, and that's not in the Pocket Edition yet. So there's some problems with the scaling of time with the Pocket Edition. Is mostly my biggest problem with it.
I see.
And then also, like, it doesn't have the end. That's another thing that was in a further update that they're not at yet. So, yeah. Sort of answer your question?
Yes, it did.
Good.
I still have not played it, even though I think I got it during Google's the Play Store's like 99-cent sale that they or the 10-cent sale that they had.
I was
think it
thinking
part
about
of that.
profiling it one time, and I didn't get it.
Yeah.
I mean, mobily, I didn't get it. I'm not saying, it sounds to me like yes.
I love how at the end of almost every show that you premiere a game, you just
just play
can't
the
pull
game
yourself away from the game. It's like when you start featuring it in
If you
the,
want next week, that can Minecraft can be my pick
We
for
did it already.
the arena. Oh, really? Did we?
Yeah, Michael Ludden did it a while back.
Oh, that's right. There you go. Hey, before, because we're stretching this out even further, before we go any further, you might want to queue up that breaking news drop just one more time. Just one more time.
What happened?
Leaf81 in the chat room has shared a link. It's rumor at this point, but tech site Android Noodles is advising that Japanese carrier Docomo is expecting Nexus releases from Samsung, LG, and Sony.
Really?
By the end of the year. Nothing else
by the end
to
of the
share?
year.
Yes.
I thought you were going to say next week.
No, I don't know. Well, no, it doesn't say anything about next week as far as I can tell. But, I mean, we would expect some sort of new Nexus phone by the end of the year. That's usually what they do.
Absolutely. I'm waiting again.
Just rumory, but there you have it. And it does kind of jive a little bit with what we were talking about earlier as far as multiple devices. But it could also be extremely fake. Very well could be that. All right, go ahead and plug.
Yeah. Okay, so I just lost, but
that's
such
okay.
A fun
You can play
game.
again.
Jetpack Joyride, and I'm at about.me/Eileen Rose or on Twitter at Eileen TV.
Excellent. And I am at Jason Howell on Twitter, and about.me/Jason Howell has all of the other places I am. That's it for this week. Thank you so much for joining us. Send us a voicemail at 347-SHOW-AAA. You can always leave us an email, or send us an email rather, or a link to a video mail in your email at aaa@twit.tv. The show can be found on Twitter. We are at Android Show. We're also on Google+. We're Plus, all about Android.
With the plus.
Show notes can always be found at twit.tv/AAA. The complete show notes are there for every episode. Check it out. Past episodes also found on our site, as well as iTunes, YouTube, many different ways that you can watch our show. And finally, you can catch us live every Tuesday starting at 5 p.m. Pacific at live.twit.tv. Thank you so much for checking this show out. We'll see you next week on another episode of All About Android.
Wow, he's singing. He's got stories.
I've got stories.
Remember that one time?
Band camp.
That was awesome. My Canadian 10, which is
Give me my
basically
money.
converted about the same.
Give me my money.
Did I actually take it back?
Give me my money.
Oh, I did. There it is.
My money.
I got
You don't know where that money's been.
Make it rain.
Probably touched a gorilla or something.
So, yeah. How y'all doing, chat room?
I'll make it rain.
It's been a while. That still is going to live. And my face is going to be there. No! Somebody's going to have a screen grab.
Oh, now they are. Oh, man.